We've all heard about buying an accounting firm and not coming out of pocket any money, but how the heck do we do it without the boatloads of cash or that rich uncle? So let's talk about how to buy an accounting firm without a boatload of cash in the bank account just sitting around, because we all got that, right? Or without the family member, the rich uncle that you can just go to and say, hey, can I borrow 100 grand really quickly? I don't have that. I didn't have that. I know a lot of you guys don't have that as well. So I've taught you guys, and I'm sure you've heard it for other people. We talk about using the SBA, but we also talk about using an outside investor, or what they call OPM, other people's money, to cover the down payment that you have to bring to the table. But the problem with that is not all of us have an extensive network of people that have a lot of cash that are willing to deploy into your firm, right? So you can be zero out of pocket. And not to mention, most of us either have a solo practice or we're working in a mid-sized firm. We just don't have 50 to 100 grand just laying around. And let's be honest, times are rough right now. It's hard out here. It's tough to just have that money on the sidelines waiting to deploy. And look, truth be told, even if you're one of the lucky few that has the rich uncle or that has the boatloads of cash sitting on the sideline ready, maybe it's better if we don't give up the equity to an investor. Maybe I want to keep 100% of my equity. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, giving up equity can kind of suck. It's great in the beginning because you can get the money and you don't have to come out of pocket. But you know what ends up happening is usually you're the one sitting there grinding, trying to get this thing off the ground and transition everything smoothly. And the guy or gal that gave you the money, they're out there sipping pina coladas, not having to worry or be bogged down with any of this stress. It gets old very quickly, and the honeymoon phase of all that money that they gave you can kind of wear down and wear out very quickly. The problem is a lot of people are going to hit this roadblock mentally. They're going to say,
I don't have the cash, I don't have the equity investors, therefore, I'm just not even going to pursue this anymore.
And you stay stuck in this never-ending cycle, grinding through tax seasons, making the clients richer instead of yourself, and always putting your vision and your dreams on the back burner for them. Sound familiar? And guess what? Next year, it's going to be exactly the same thing. Nothing changes if nothing changes. But that's why I came up with what I call the lending stack hack. This strategy is already working for a ton of CPAs, tax pros, accountants that were tired of sitting on the sideline, that were tired of feeling stuck, but needed a way to get it across the finish line without having to come out of pocket. So here's how it works. So as you guys probably already know, I like using the SBA. They only require 10% down. It is a cash flow based loan. You do not have to show the SBA your paycheck and all of that. So this has nothing to do with how little or how much money you make. It's not income based. This is a cash flow based loan that is fully dependent on the business. How good is this business? How profitable is it? It's a very affordable way, but the problem is they're still going to require a 10% down payment. So let's just take a prototypical example of $1 million firm. We got to come up with $100,000 to bring to the table. And before we get into the weeds here, I'm using $1 million, guys, because it's very hard when you're trying to go out there and buy a $200,000 practice to cash flow enough at the bottom after debt service, after all the things, and for it to be actually worth it for you. So I want you guys to understand that you need to open your mind a little bit. I'm going to show you how to do this so you don't come out of pocket any money, but I want you to start looking at firms that have a little more revenue. The 500, the 700, the $1 million firms. Don't let this scare you. Okay, but these are the firms that are going to allow you to have enough cash flow at the bottom to make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, to have a staff in place that's going to be able to handle the bulk of the work for you, and to be able to live the life that you want to live and not be stuck working 60, 70 hours a week at the new firm. Listen, I've spent some time advising high net worth private clients on how to go acquire accounting firms. I've also recently launched a community where I have a lot of people in there that I'm teaching how to buy accounting firms. By the way, if you're interested in that community, click the link in the description below. Let's book a call. Let's talk about it. Let's see how I can serve you and add a tremendous amount of value and put you on a fast track along with a bunch of other high-level acquisition-minded professionals to go getting your first firm across the finish line. And more importantly, trying to do it for $0 out of pocket, back to your regularly scheduled program. The point that I'm trying to make is we have a core principle that we center everything around. We do not go buy jobs. We buy running businesses, established firms that are big enough to have systems and established staff so that we don't get our own time sucked into it. Now, look, full transparency. Are you going to have to spend probably 10 to 15 hours a week here? Yes, it's going to be necessary, at least in the beginning. But this is not something where I want you to go buy a job. And the problem with these smaller firms is that's exactly what happens. You end up buying a job because they don't have any staff. They don't have any systems. Here's the steps. Step one, find your firm. I personally like to go to accountingpracticesales.com. I've personally bought from there before, but there are other brokerage firms out there. If you just Google accounting firms for sale, you'll find a lot of them. Once you find the firm that you want, step two, get with the SBA to get this deal done. As I mentioned before, the SBA only requires 10% down, but who has $100,000 just laying around? How do we get that to zero? Step three is to structure your deal with something called a 24-month standby. What that means is we need at least 10% of this purchase price to be on a seller financing note. Once you get that in place, you have to let the seller know, hey, I'm going to pay you the bulk of your money the day we close, but for this small little note, I can't pay you your first payment for 24 months. For context, guys, this is a softball of an offer, okay? You're going to get them to say yes. Once they say yes, the SBA is going to say, you know what? That shows some skin in the game from the seller. We're going to go ahead and drop that 10% down payment requirement down to 5%. We're making progress, but that's still $50,000 in this example that we would have to bring to the table. That's still a lot of money. So how do we get that down to zero? This is where the lending stack hack comes in. SBA is the first loan. Now we're going to stack another loan on top of that. And this is where a signature or micro loan will come into play. Now, a signature loan is more of walk into the bank that you bank with and just ask them what their signature or personal loan is, what their policy and terms are and all of that. Usually you can get a 3 to 5 year loan. It's going to be a little bit of a high interest rate, probably about 18 to 20%, but you don't have to have any collateral put up. It's just going to be more on your credit worthiness, your financial qualification. Now, that's the signature loan. The micro loans, you can just Google this and a ton will pop up, but it's a similar concept. No collateral. They're going to be okay with your credit worthiness and your financial qualifications, and you're going to be able to fill that gap. Usually you can get anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 with these types of loans and not have to put up any collateral. You can use this money to go fill the gap and fund that 5% down payment. This is the lending stack hack. Now, there's a link on the SBA website that has a ton of these micro loan lenders. I'll put that link in the description below. Feel free to go check it out. Some of the more popular ones that I've seen out there, Happy Money, Upstart, Upgrade, there's a ton of them out there. Go check it out. But this right here is the essence of the lending stack hack. You got your SBA loan that's going to fund the bulk of the deal. And now you got your signature or micro loan that's going to fund your down payment. And the beauty about this is no outside investors needed, no rich uncle needed, no boatloads of cash needed to go buy your $1 million firm. Guys, this stuff is powerful. We're literally talking about how to buy $1 million firm, which would probably get you $15,000 to $20,000 in free cash flow after debt service, after everything in your bank account every single month. And not to mention, you only got to work 10 to 15 hours a week. We're talking about how to do all of this without coming out of pocket anything. So those are the steps on how you would go and take advantage of my lending stack hack and make this dream a reality for you. And again, guys, this isn't some hypothetical concept. This is a strategy, a proven process that a ton of accounting and tax pros are using to buy up firms. I need you to understand that there is a massive opportunity of baby boomers retiring. I think the last stat that I saw was the AICPA said that 75% or more of all of its members are at retirement age or older. There is a transfer of wealth happening in our industry like nothing we've ever seen before. I need you to open up your mind, expand your mind, and go get your piece of the pie. This changed my life. I was depressed, miserable, and just felt like there was no end in sight. It was a rat race, hamster wheel situation, and I just wanted some time back. Look, guys, the money's great. I love the money, but you know what I love more than that is being able to be there for the moments that really matter. Being able to go to an awards assemblies at my kids' elementary at 11 a.m., 10 a.m. By the way, why do they do that if they know most people can't make it? Anyway, being able to go and have lunch with them, being able to go with them on field trips, being able to be there and be present, because time is something we can't get back, guys. This is super powerful. It's dangerous in a good way if you just know how to mold it and align it for what you want. I want you to get out of this mindset that the boomers brainwashed us with of trading your time for money. If I work 5 hours, I'm not going to make a lot, but if I work 55 hours, I'm going to make more. No. That's the old school way of thinking. The new school way of thinking is you learning how to trade your value for money. That's what this opportunity is. But like anything else, this opportunity isn't going to last forever. It's going to get more and more saturated. Private equity and these private wealthy family offices are going to start slowly coming in and buying up all of these opportunities. I want us in this industry to go out there and get our piece of the pie. Look, I've bought 3 accounting firms at this point, and I'm actually working on number 4 and 5 as we speak. I'm not slowing down. You need to start so you can go create generational wealth for you and your family. If you want to hear a case study of exactly how I went out and bought my last accounting firm for $775,000 and I came out of pocket zero for it, there's a link in the description. Click it. Feel free to watch it. It's a full case study on how I did that. Look, let's be honest. Most of you guys that are watching this, you're probably not going to take action. You're going to watch this. You're going to scroll to something else, go watch some funny videos or something, and you're going to stay stuck in this. I wish, I hope, I am dreaming of the day that something changes. Don't be that person. If you have a solo practice and you're working max hours, or you're working for somebody else and you're working max hours, don't let next tax season look exactly like this one. Long hours, high stress, making the clients richer, making your boss richer, always putting yourself and your vision on the back burner. The question isn't whether you should go out and buy a firm for $0. I think you already know that that's the answer. That's the ticket out of the rat race. The question is, how many more months and years are you going to waste sitting on the sideline, not doing anything about it? You can click in the links in the description below so you can take that first small step on what all this would even look like, or you won't. But next year, when you're buried in tax season again, working insane hours, making somebody else rich, hating life, ask yourself why nothing has changed. It's your move. Remember, guys, it's a cruel world, but we're better together. We'll see you later.